Closest to me, we've got Drew with the cap on, and then further away from me, we've got ChasMac. Clash of Clans world may not have seen you before, Chaz. I basically dropped by one of your VODs to work out who you were, but you've coming from the sort of Clash Royale background, aren't you? So, welcome to the stream, and this is really exciting, really interesting new team to have on. But welcome, how are you guys doing? You okay?
Yeah, pleasure to be here and doing great. How about you, Drew?
I'm doing great, man. Mac, thanks for having us. You know, you guys have had Strut on, you've had Carbon Fin on, you've had a bunch of OP guys before us, so we're just honored that you even considered us.
Mate, honestly, like as far as I'm concerned, you guys are up there. ChasMacs is a legitimate force. We'll talk about that later on. We've got some questions about that, and if you're happy with current form and all that sort of stuff and all that. But I genuinely think that you're one of the teams that are up there, up and amongst the sort of the big boys. But yeah, let's get on with the questions. There's Pavu coming in. Pavu, hello, welcome to the stream, man. Right, so we're going to start with some quick fire questions. Now, these are standard questions I always ask guys, but there's a slight problem with this. These are all Clash of Clans related, and Chaz, I honestly have no idea if you've ever picked up Clash of Clans, so we're going to find this out. And if your answer to the first question is I've never played this game, then we'll not worry about the other questions. We'll just get Drew to answer them, alright? But the first question, and we'll start with Drew. When did you start playing Clash of Clans? Tell us about that.
That's funny because we were last Worlds qualifier warm-up that we did. We were all talking like 3 a.m. about when we started. So yeah. I actually, exact date, it was August 3rd of 2013 is when I picked up the game.
Nice. Happy days. Do you manage to do that through like the Google achievement sort of tracker or the iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found out when I unlocked archers in my barracks or something like that. So that's kind of where I base it off of.
Happy days. Right, Lex has just come in with like the biggest host in raid. Lex, thank you, man. Welcome to the stream. Flipping it. And Badside coming in with a big raid. Right. Badside coming in with a 7-viewer raid. Kind of being totally dwarfed by Lex. You timed that perfectly, bad man. But guys, thank you so much for the raid. Let's do a wee and a sub. Sorry guys, I'm going totally off topic, Drew. I normally try and avoid this stuff. I want to give Badstag a shout out though.
Take full advantage of it, my friend.
Yeah, man. This is so cool. But we want to give Badstag's on 49 followers. I want to get him all the way up. Guys, please give Badstag a follow as well. Thank you so much for the raid. Hello, welcome. Orion, Hothy, there's a whole load of new followers in there. In amongst all that, Scud subbed as well. Amazing. We almost had Lex on the show. Lex was going to be part of this. Very similar way to when he was in SSG. He was almost on the show with Marinol as well. One day I will get Lex on this show. One day we'll find time. But that'll be good. But thank you so much for the raid, man. I'm not even sure if he's there. But anyway, it's fine. Anyway, what were we saying? Yeah, so you said when you started playing the game, Drew. Well done. I'm now trying to remember the conversation we just had. I'm like, where were we before a million people joined in? Chaz, what about you? Have you ever played Clash of Clans? Did you start with Clash of Clans and move into Clash Royale? Tell us about your Clash of Clans background.
Yeah, so, like a lot of people, we had the family and friends clan, right? And that's actually how I got involved. I would say it's been, basically since release that I started playing. My youngest son got me into it. And of course, tens of thousands of dollars later and investing into my account, my wife's account, my kids' accounts. My son says to me one day, "Hey, Dad, you need to check out this new game called Clash Royale." And I'm like, no. I have enough money invested in Clash of Clans. I'm good here.
Yeah.
And about 3 months of him harping on me, I finally started playing Clash Royale. And at that point, Clash of Clans went a little bit to the back burner, but
yeah. So I remember I played Clash Royale when it first came out. I didn't play it when it was in like the beta, but when it came on global release, I started playing it. I played it solidly for probably a good year. I just got really frustrated. It's one of these games that I was too emotionally involved in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get so angry. I could see how it would be amazing for streaming because I don't think you get those same reactions in Clash of Clans, but the ability to throw out emotes and to feel that you're being totally hard done by and all that sort of stuff, it just brings so much rage. I was like, oh man, I had to stop playing the game because it just so angry with life. So
no, I may or may not have broken a couple of phones over the years. So.
Yeah. It's when the guy sort of, they're spamming the wee smiley face at you and all that, when they're absolutely battering you, just like, it's not fair. If I had a higher level this, then I would have smashed. Yeah, and all this. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Happy days. Right, but you do have a background in Clash of Clans as well, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, and since we, started up, I've been playing a little bit more now too, and enjoying the game again. So it's been nice.
Yeah, I think Clash of Clans has definitely gone through. It went through a bit of there was a dip, and now it's really coming into its own. I don't know if you've seen the same in Clash Royale, but since Tencent got involved in Supercell, I know that was a few years ago now, but you saw this. I remember being worried that Clash of Clans was going to get really commercial, and it has. But actually, that's been really good. They've pushed out new content all the time. They seem to take risks a lot of the time. Maybe not always to everyone's taste, but there's a real mix going on there, which is really interesting. I don't know if it's been the same in Clash Royale. Have you seen something similar with that?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the game that's been getting the most attention, in my opinion, and plenty of others, I think, is Brawl Stars. Has been getting the bulk of the good updates. Yeah. Clash Royale, unfortunately, we haven't seen any really good updates in quite a long time. They came out with the Heroes, which was a nice update, but with the exception of that, Clan Wars has been a fail. So there's been a lot of things that they've done wrong, but they're working hard to try to fix things. And we communicate with Supercell, regularly too, and try to voice our opinions from an organizational standpoint too. So, hopefully all three games will continue to thrive.
It is. Okay, right. The next one is your favorite Town Hall level. So, Drew, go for it. Starts off. What's your favorite Town Hall level, man?
The last Town Hall that I was able to triple in consistently was Town Hall 11, so I'm going to go with that.
Fair enough. That's as good a reason as any. Yeah, I like that. What about you, Chasman?
I agree with Drew. Drew. I'm 13 now, still not, where I should be, but I agree 100% with Drew.
What about favorite strategy then? Now, this can be strategy or strategy or troop, and it can be to attack or to watch. It's totally up to you. You can interpret this however you want. But what is your favorite strategy, man? And Strampel, thank you for. Oh man, we got like a raid from Wiley, which I missed. Sorry, Wiley. And then guys got in subs. Thank you, guys. It's madness. Sorry, Drew, go for it. What's your favorite strategy?
My favorite strategy right now is definitely hybrid. I'm a hybrid guy through and through. I've tried other things.
That explains with the Town Hall 11. That sort of that syncs up. That makes sense.
Hybrid's my go-to. I'm not that very good, but I have the most confidence in that to almost triple.
Happy days. What about you, Chaz?
I'm just all around terrible right now because I just started playing the game again a little bit.
What about watching? What's your favorite one to watch?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I get my excitement from watching Lex stream. Use code LEXNOS, by the way. Sorry, I had to sneak that in for my boy. I have the most fun watching him. I'm learning all the new slangs like Lalo, which Drew explained to me not too long ago. In Clash Royale we call it Lava Loon. So but Lex's style, whatever he wants to play, is what I have the most enjoyment watching.
Good days. MTBK says as long as Drew doesn't do Lalo. So Drew, you're getting peer abuse, man. But there you go.
Always bagging on poor Drew.
Blame Drew, poor Drew, don't matter.
I want to make a t-shirt.
I'm going to take this opportunity, guys, to educate you a little bit more, Chaz, okay? So you've heard of Lalo, which is good. There's another strategy that you need to know about. I was explaining this to Carbon last week, so don't worry if you've not heard of this, because Carbon hadn't really heard of this. I'm here to help people. I educate people. But we got this strategy here. It's called a Snowlo. Flipping out. Blame Adam's coming in with the raid as well. The timing on this one. Thank you so much for the raid, Adam. Welcome in. So we got this. So when you use an ice hound, it's not an ice hound, guys. It's a snow hound, and it's called a Snowlo. Okay. It's my personal mission to get Snowlo out there as a phrase that everyone is comfortable with using, and I want to hear it one day. See if Woody uses it in Worlds. My mind will explode, man. I'll just be like, I'll be like, whoa! But that's what we're going for. So if you can just pass that on to Lex and everyone else.
I'll have them test it in the scrims, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. Snowlo is the way forward.
Solo, all right.
Yeah, Snowlo's the way forward, definitely. Guys, if you want to ask the guys any questions, then !Q and then type your question. It goes on a wee bank, and then at the end of the show, we're going to ask them questions as well. People are now spamming the emotes like mad. There we go. People have found Snowlo. So yeah, if you want to ask Drew or Chaz a question, then go for it, guys. Right, where are we at now? Favorite strategy? Okay, where does the name come from? So, Drew, yours might be easy, it may not, but we'll start with you. Where does your in-game name come from?
My in-game name came from the nickname I got in the academy, and I just kept with it.
Happy days. I like that. So, the Drew thing. Base boss is already asking Snowlo or Lalo. Happy days. Chaz, what about your name? Where does ChasMac come from then?
So kind of an interesting story. I always tried to get the gamer tag Charlie Mac, because my most people refer to me as Charlie, but every time you try to get that name, it's taken. And when I was a kid, my uncle would always call me Chaz, which is short for Charlie. And so I started, I think Xbox gamer tag or something 100 years ago with Mac, and it's just kind of stuck. So yeah.
Happy days, I like that. That's where mine came from. An email address that smashed my two names together.
Nice.
And made McKenzie, and I've just and then it turned. Yeah, it was by Xbox. Do you know what I mean? It just became this tag that I used, and then when I was trying to come up with a name, for my channel, and I was just I'll just stick with this. It just really unimaginative and uninspiring. I was just like, just stick with this. This will be all right.
It worked.
Yeah. Hey, it works, man.
Exactly. You just got, and then everyone typically shortens it, don't they? So yeah. Right. Okay. So we've covered all the quickfire questions. We're going to talk about just sort of you guys a little bit more specifically now, or about ChasMac. So we kind of actually talked in this a little bit about your roots in Clash Royale. So tell us more about when did the idea for the esports organization come about? What was the thinking behind that?
Well, I've always had a lot of friends in the game, some pros that were friends of mine, some streamers that were friends of mine. And I started getting heavily involved on Twitch, trying to promote some of the English streamers and promote Clash Royale as a whole for the streamers. And Sir Tag is one of the more famous Clash Royale streamers and content creators. He's a very good friend of mine, and him and I were talking one day, and I told him, maybe I want to do this thing. And he says, well, if you're going to do it, now's the time, because people kind of know your name from the donations that we would give and, things like that. So I'm not a vain person. I didn't want my name in the actual esports name, but because he told me that I had a brand with ChasMac, we decided to name the organization after that. But yeah, I mean, it's something that I've always wanted to do. I own a couple other companies, here in the US, and I'm one of those guys that likes to stay busy, and I like to help people. And that was really my motivation behind it. I was really frustrated with how a lot of players and teams were being taken advantage of, meaning some of these younger kids, to be a pro player, and at least in Clash Royale, you have to be 16 years old. So these are kids, and they're getting taken advantage of by some of these organizations and giving them all their money and just not getting handled the way that they should have been and taken care of. And that was important to me, that I could create an organization that players could come to and make it feel like they belong to a family. And that's kind of how we would approach things. I think Drew would let you know, all the Clash of Clans guys would say the same. We talk every day, whether it's about the weather or about how Drew screws everything up. It doesn't matter. We just talk every day. So hopefully that's a good enough answer.
Hashtag please.
Get that trending as well. That's awesome. So I almost asked what makes you guys different, what makes ChasMacs different from other orgs, but that's not on my list of things to ask. But actually, you've kind of answered it there already. Just that was where you were coming from, a real sort of ethical view of trying to create that real sort of family environment. That's interesting, because that's kind of the approach that Albernaki was talking about with Strut as well, and trying to create a real community built around an esports org, which is maybe slightly different from these PC orientated esports, or that have kind of got Clash of Clans as a wee sideline, and mobile esports is like it's not really a real thing. And it seems like a different approach. I like that. It's very cool. I think we got like another sub in there. Guys, I have so many subs and follows. Thank you so much. If you're not following, please follow. Thank you so much, guys, and welcome in, Adam. We had so many raids today as well. Crazy. So the move into Clash of Clans. When you came up with your plan, you had like your when did Clash Royale ChasMacs Esports start? Was that 2021?
It was, yes, early 2021.
So that was your first year. You had like a timeline and like a roadmap. Was moving into Clash of Clans in 2022? Was that in your roadmap, or did you see an opportunity and go for it? Was like what happened around it there? What was the decision making?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of both, right? We definitely wanted to expand into other games. We did have a PUBG mobile team last year as well, but it was mainly Clash Royale. We had a lot of players that were, finished in Worlds and all that stuff. But we've always wanted to expand, and a friend of mine had shared a tweet from our friends here, and the second that I got to talk to Drew and the rest of the team, all the guys, and realize just how goated this team really is and the potential that they have, the crossroads there of us wanting to expand and then having an opportunity to work with such amazing people was kind of a no-brainer for us from an organizational standpoint. And it's one of the better decisions that we've made. And I didn't really realize just how amazing the Clash of Clans community is. The support that they show on just like our Twitter, we've been in Clash Royale for almost 2 years now, and we've been in Clash of Clans for a half an hour, and we get more interactions from our Clash of Clans people than anybody, and it's amazing. So it's one of the best decisions that we made from our standpoint.
I remember that when I started streaming, I kind of fell into streaming. It happened accidentally. And I had a Twitch account. My Twitch account was active for years, but it was never like an intention to stream. And it was just used for like chat. You had to have an account to chat in other people's chat. Mm-hmm. And landing in the Clash of Clans community, it's small. It's quite a small community compared to like other games and all that sort of stuff. But it's so supportive, and it's really active. It's like, do you know what I mean? You get like there's a nice vibe in there. And like you look at like the speed that it takes for people to get to affiliate. You see some streamers streaming some games, and that takes forever. But Clash of Clans, it's like within a month. If you have got something about you, apologies if I'm now thinking there's someone in the chat who's like, I've been trying to get affiliate for ages, and I'm a Clash of Clans streamer, it's never happened. Sorry, but honestly, it just seems to happen so quickly. And and I think you're right. It's that community sort of feel that's there, particularly within the Twitch Clash of Clans side of things. It's small but perfectly formed, is a good way to describe it. Right, Drew, you've not spoken for a while. I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak, okay? So tell us about the Clash of Clans team coming together. Chaz, you're allowed to interrupt him when he says things wrong as well, by the way, man. You're allowed to.
I'll be talking a lot then, most likely.
Yeah. Oh man, wait. Jesse's just gifted a whole load of subs. Thank you, Jesse. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much, man. There's a whole load of people just got gifted subs. Sorry. So Drew, tell us about how the Clash of Clans team came together, and just that sort of story of like how you went about choosing the players, and how you started those conversations. Explain.
So back in October of 2020, I was actually brought into a conversation with Peivu and Starving Orphan, aka Nick, about being the manager for a new team that they were doing in MLCW at the time, and they were making a deep run, and they wanted to actually make it an official 5v5 team. So I'm like, all right, bet, I'll do it. And ever since then, we were looking at names and trying to figure stuff out. I'm like, why not just do Volume 0? And everyone liked the name, and so I got the best graphics designer I could, Aries. She's awesome. And she made us our first logo ever. So like, oh, we're doing the thing. We're doing it. And so throughout the rest of 2020 and then into 2021, we took a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a break, got a new, same team, same name, little different players. but we kept it the same. Our goal was mobile open, seeing how far we can make it, and we just kind of stayed true to what we knew and ended up going really far in mobile open. The second time, the first time we don't got to talk about, but we just entered a lot of tournaments. My goal was to get our name out there and show everybody that, you know, we're a force to be reckoned with in the NA side of things. And, you know, unfortunately, we made a deep run in Fire Fiera season 7. We ended up winning the whole thing. And that's when we were approached by ChasMacs to sit there and talk about a potential opportunity there. And we just took advantage, and it was a mutually beneficial agreement for both of us. And here we are, just going to continue to take every opportunity we can and take advantage.
So, but it is mainly Volume 0 that I've come across in the ChasMacs, but it's not totally Volume 0. So, how did getting those players in, was that yourself, or did Homa Beer chat to you, or what happened there?
So, knowing what we knew from before we got signed, and I asked every one of my guys, where do they see themselves going into 2022? And every single one of them wanted to stay together and really just dominate 2022 the best way we knew how. Once we got approached for this opportunity, I wanted to really try and make a statement. And I talked to Chaz. I talked to a bunch of different players, different opportunities that we have, the pros and cons of each of the players, and it was a group effort because we wanted to stay with chemistry and wanted to stay with talent at the same time. And this is at the time where Lex's contract was about over at SSG. And so he and I were just talking. It was a regular conversation, and we just kind of just started talking about that. And then I said, is there anyone else that you were thinking about? And I said to him, well, we could talk about it. And we ended up reaching out on Rainberry, and Rainberry was on board. Like as soon as I asked a question, he said yes. So once we had that solidified, everything was great, and here we are.
Happy days. And okay, the next bit of that is, and there was someone's asked this question in chat as well. But what about your form so far? What are your aims for 2022? And are you happy with how you've started? As the manager, that's like, I feel like that's what you need to know these things.
Sure. I know what you're saying. So, am I happy with where we are at? I like where we're at, but we could always be better. I think with how we started, with the amount of tournaments that we have under our belt now, with the amount of matches played together as a team, we know our strengths and we know our weaknesses. So now we can really focus in on what we're really bad at and try to make it really good. Like, for instance, longer formatted strategy wars, whether it's, you know, most wars are 5 minutes, 45 minute wars. And then you have wars that could be 5 minute prep, 30-minute wars, and you have to do that for 7 hours.
Yeah.
You know, most guys, they aren't used to that. And for us, that is definitely something that we want to practice on and make sure that we get better at, because if we could just continually make our offense to be really good and our defense really good, if our offense sometimes lacks, our defense can help us. And so that's what we're really focusing on right now.
Cool. Chaz, what about yourself? Were you happy with the team you've got? You talked about like the reception they've had. You getting good vibes?
Yeah, exception of Drew, everything, you know, is really... No. I was going to put in while he was talking to just add to when you asked Drew about, you know, his expectations and his goals and how he put this team together. I will tell you that I haven't been around the Clash of Clans scene that long, but I can tell you one thing about Drew, that he is the hardest working individual for our team that you could possibly ever imagine. There's not a day that goes by that him and I don't talk, whether it's text or Discord or whatever. He needs something, I'm there. I need something, he's there. So from, you know, the managerial aspect, as far as the organization goes with Drew, it's amazing. He's got an awesome relationship with my staff, Quo and Callie and Shade. And you know, it's just, I couldn't be happier. You know, of course, on the competitive side of things, you know, I'm learning the game, relearning the game, I should say. Yeah. So of course I can watch here and I can be the, you know, the Monday quarterback or armchair quarterback, whatever you want to say, and say, well, why didn't they use this card or why didn't they do that? But I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. So I'll ask them questions, and then they explain it to me like, oh, okay, now I understand.
Yeah.
So as far as where the team's at, I mean, I'm thrilled. If we can get Rainberry to get on camera, not on the basketball court wearing gym shorts for competitions, that would be awesome. But no, I mean, I love
expectations
are
all relative. I like this. Everyone's got their own
Yeah.
targets. It's like some teams, they want to win worlds, they want to qualify for a certain place. You just want to get someone dressed properly. I like that.
I just want Rainberry wearing pants and a jersey. That's my goal. That's it. Yeah.
Now he's in a car. He's working his way up to a home.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, he's getting close.
Happy days. There we go. Right, what else have we got? Did you guys give us a target for 22 or 2022? Or have you not really set anything specific, or is there anything that you'd like to achieve?
So we're very optimistic, and we really believe it's achievable, and that's to make it to the biggest showcase of them all, and that's Worlds. Unfortunately, we still don't really know what the format looks like going into it, but if it's what we're playing for right now, in the sense of these long formatted wars, open qualifiers, and all these certain events that are happening, if that's the pattern that's showing, then that's what we got to do to get better. So once we kind of reach that hump, and once we get better at that, it's just, sky's the limit.
Yeah, because that's something I was going to talk to you later on about. Is like there seems to be this evolution in 2022 of this change from the 545 wars with like big, long, drawn out tournaments to actually quite a few wars going off the trendsetters as Worlds. Worlds set that 45-minute war, and now they seem to have set this 30-minute sort of intensive full weekend worth of action. And it's I think like if you look at like that 1,000 gems for opening that 5th slot, it's things like that. Suddenly it's those things that start that are going to start putting pressure on people, needing those extra bases just so you can work with decent bases for an entire day. It's quite challenging, isn't it?
Well, it can be. There's teams that, shout out to the other NA team, War and Glory, that decided to take Twitter bases and decide to run it all the way through and make format qualifiers. So kudos to them. So, I mean, listen, any base can defend, any base can get tripled. In this meta nowadays, that is, we're in the heat of a spam meta, E-drags, super drags. It really doesn't matter what you go up against, because you could test all day, all week for, what you think teams would use or openings that they would try. And then it automatically your morale gets blown because people take 4 seconds to drop 6 super dragons, 5 balloons, a baby dragon, heroes, warden, and then the ability with the blimp. And you have 2 minutes 40 seconds to figure out what they're going to do, and the base just gets demolished. So we're slowly learning that. We're trying to build up against that, seeing how we can predict. But with these shorter format wars, the 5-minute 30 wars, it's a challenge. A lot of teams a lot of upsets going on that are happening in the Clash of Clans community scene.
Dutch Rick says, and I thought 18 belts was the meta. So we're doing a Legends League challenge at the moment. First week of Legends League. I don't know if any of your guys are taking part in this, but it's basically pushing as far as you can. But you got to have 18 Valks in your army comp. It started a few months ago. We had Barch, and then it was Baby Dragons. Then Darian picked Bowlers, and now we're doing Valks this month. So it's the first week of Legends, and seeing how far they can get. But it's and people are having mixed results. There's people that are absolutely smashing with the Valks, and other people that are like, oh, another 1-star, amazing. So it's good fun. That's what I'm going to stream after this.
That sounds awesome. 18.
Yeah, it's designed to, like, it gives a bit of space for some creativity in there, but it's also quite restrictive. It's quite challenging as well. So yeah. Sure. Jesse says, imagine this challenge starting as a joke. Yeah, it was, and now it's $200 prize pool and madness. It's great fun. Right, okay. Sorry, what'd you say? You're breaking up.
Now it's awful.
That just sounds awful, yeah. So, I asked this question last week to Albernacki, and I basically have a question sheet, and then a lot of time I take them out, but I actually left this one in, because it's another org, and this is an interesting sort of, you guys have just come in as well. Mobile gaming esports. A lot of people saying that Clash of Clans esports is dead or dying. What's your take? Obviously, you guys, I'm assuming, don't agree with that because Chaz, you've decided to invest in a Clash of Clans team. But what are you feeling like today? What are you feeling about this year?
I mean, from an organizational standpoint, and again, just kind of re-entering the scene, based on the community, as we were talking about earlier, just how tight knit this community is. And when I go in and I watch these streams, I see the same people that are watching Eric, that are watching Lexnos, that are, they just Coco, Aries, all these people, they're all like family and friends. And I think as long as they continue doing what they're doing, they can continue to grow this esports scene for Clash of Clans. This game has been around for longer than any of the other games, obviously, and it's still thriving. You can argue that it's not what it was years and years ago. That's fine. But in my opinion, if Supercell can continue to improve the game as well and incentivize people kind of, the way that they are in Clash Royale, where anyone can qualify for worlds kind of things with these golden tickets and things, I think it can continue to grow instead of dying. It doesn't need to die. It's a great game with an amazing fan base. And I think that's what will carry Clash of Clans esports, are people like you and your fellow streamers of this game. There's not just about any time of the day you can go on Twitch and somebody is streaming a league or a tournament or something. So, I mean, to me, I don't think it's dying. I think, if anything, I see it getting better. Otherwise, as a business person, you've got to make certain decisions. I probably wouldn't have entered the scene if I thought it was dying. So
yeah, that's what I was hoping you would say. I'd be pretty shocked if you invested an esports org into Clash Clans and you're like, yeah, no man, I give it a year max, and it's like, oh, okay, great. So,
I mean, the only gamble I really made was on Drew.
Yeah.
Players I have full.
Drew, what do you think? What's your take on Clash Clans? You've obviously been playing it through bad times and good. Is probably a nice way of putting it. What's your take?
So I think, like what Chaz was saying, that there could be an argument made for both. One, it being better than ever, and then the other part being it could be slowly dying. Because you see the talent pool last year with like Nick, with Agent, with a bunch of these other pro players that are retiring because of one thing or another, whether it's personal life, new job, kids, wife, family, or even the meta, and how it's disappointing and demoralizing to continue to play inside of a game where all it takes is 5 seconds for somebody to just come up with a plan and triple in under a minute type of style of attack. And that can be demoralizing. And some people I know personally have retired because of that. But I also look at that as an opportunity for other players and other teams to get represented, in the sense of, well, it's the next man up. You have teams that are up like they were with alternate attacks, and that was a team to beat last year. And especially now with this server change with the Japanese or the Chinese players going on their own server, so 30%, I would say at least 30% of the esports side of things have now kind of went away, and they're on their own island essentially. And it gives us an opportunity. When I say us, I'm talking about the other 70% that was intimidated by the Chinese Clash of Clans teams like JX Tiger. They're 2020 world champions. And you have all these other amazing teams that we don't necessarily have to go up against anymore, because we now have a better chance of making it farther in a bracket or in a tournament per se.
So that was something I was going to talk about later on, but let's talk about it now. The Chinese clans being in their own little island, as an update happens and all that sort of stuff, by the time we get 7 months down the line, 9 months, about 7 months, in September time, at Worlds, and we potentially we think the sort of the smart money is on the fourth competition being a Chinese competition that slots a Chinese team in there. Are we going to see a Chinese team that are actually running a totally different meta from the rest of the world, or do you think that there'll be enough sort of interaction that they're going to continue to sort of mirror each other as they go? I'm now asking you to predict the future. Go.
So I feel as if no, and because we won't be surprised by what they use or what they do, because social media is a wonderful thing. Twitter will still show photos or videos of some certain attacks. YouTube will show some certain attacks. I believe. I don't know if China Shinks in them over there. I have no idea. But I'm sure if it's something that's cool or something that's groundbreaking in the meta, it'll slowly reach us when from outside of China. We may be late to the party, but we'll still get to it for sure.
It's just that because I know that we already see that where at Worlds suddenly, or in the qualifiers, you had teams bringing new strategies that they hadn't really tried before. They've also been testing a lot, but had been keeping sort of secret. And suddenly you've got this entire community working in an isolated sort of position. It's just like, oh, that's an interesting concept. But yeah, I like social media.
Exactly. When you think of something like that, I immediately think of the Tribe Gaming team with when Lex was on that originally. Yeah. When it was a qualifier, they decided to do Super Witches when everyone was doing something completely different, and they were a team that was really doing Super Witches, and they kind of held that in their back pocket. And it's like, wow, that was really impressive. Not to say that no one else was doing it, but they made it look super easy against what are supposed to be the best bases in the world at the time because it was Worlds. So it was like, wow, really impressive, and they were just making it look super easy. So that was probably my favorite moment that I saw, and it means exactly what you were talking about with a new meta or a groundbreaking idea or strategy.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We've gone through a whole lot of things. Now, I saw a tweet earlier on today, guys, and I chatted to you earlier on about this, and I don't know if I'm going to get anything out of you, but there's a big announcement. You've said on a tweet, ChasMacs Gaming has said, a big announcement, 1st of March. It's almost the 1st of March here. Like 3 hours away or something. Do you want to give us a hint on what's going on? Chaz, I don't know if that's over to you. I mean, it's the 1st of March somewhere.
It is the 1st of March somewhere. And you know what? I'm glad that you said that because my staff is probably DMing me right now as we speak saying, do not do this. But we already kind of leaked it. I stream a little bit myself, and so we'll let your audience really be the bulk to know that we will be launching our full website, which is actually live now, that you can go and you can read news about our teams and our players. It's a really easy website to find. It's ChasMacGaming.com. But that's the big announcement. Shh, don't tell anybody else. And hopefully my staff's not watching so I don't get yelled at. But in addition to that, Drew and I are working on something really, really massive with my staff that's going to yell at me about telling you about the website. And we are going to bring something to Clash of Clans that will be unmatched, I think, for this year. Let's just say it's going to be a certain type of a competition with nice prize pools and things that are going to bring our community even closer and grow it even more. So keep an eye out for something called ChasMacs Cup.
No one heard. It's fine.
We did it last year for Clash Royale, and this year we're excited to expand into that scene for the Clash of Clans community, and we want to make it the best event out of any events, in Clash of Clans. So keep an eye out for that. Drew is working really, really hard with the guys and so many other people to try to get this thing organized. So keep an eye out for that too. So I guess you get two kind of cool announcements.
I like that, man. Pavu's saying it's a very nice prize pool. Clash of Boss, yeah, please drop the link. That'd be awesome. Shide is also showing off. Shide's flexing, saying I know what they're talking about and all that sort of stuff. But yeah.
Oh no.
Does Shide know? Does Shide know anything, Drew, or is he capping?
He's capping. He doesn't. He doesn't know how many hands are involved in this. By the way, he is nobody hands are involved in this, and how beneficial it's really going to be.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
We talked about, and this isn't to piggyback off a strut by any means, but we've talked about charity events. Like Chaz just did a charity event for Ukraine yesterday. We're talking about doing something like that for all other things: wounded warriors, first responders, cancer. Because I personally have it. And we're just talking about all these different things that we can do to just help everybody out.
Yeah. I love that this is the direction that the Clash of Clans community seems to be going. So we had Strut with, and okay, I got some abuse for hating elephants. I wasn't hating on the elephants, all right, last week. I was just, it was great that we had like this this charity that was working with like a whole community in Africa and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I did say that. Yeah, okay, it's fine. I'm not going to grill on that. And now the chat started again. And then you guys are talking about a charity sort of element to it as well. I love that. I think that's brilliant, especially with everything that's going on in the world at the moment with like Ukraine and all that. It's like, yeah, it kind of sucks. So yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, okay, we'll keep our eyes posted for ChasMacs Cup. I like that. It's pretty cool. Coco's in as well. Hello, Coco. Welcome to the stream.
The best be helping us handle this too. So, you know, there's like I said, so many hands working in this. You know, the ideas that we have that Chaz and I talk on a regular basis about. He said we talk about the weather. We talk about the weather, but we talk about so much more if we can. You know, the ideas are endless here, and the opportunity is really, really great for a lot of people.
And so, you know, our staff is actively working on this. Like literally, as we sit here and communicate right now, they're working on this. We brought on more staff just to be able to assist Drew and the rest of the team just for this event. So, I mean, I really think we're going to do something special for you guys.
Oh, it's so exciting. I wish you fine. I can't wait to find out what makes it different and what's going to make it unique. That's really exciting because we have a lot of community competitions out there at the moment, and so making one that stands out stands out for the right reasons, if that makes sense.
Right.
I mean, Drew, I think is fairly clear on you're aware of how many competitions there are and all that, so I can see how you've got loads of experience of working with different tournaments and the challenges that they bring. So yeah, that's interesting. Very cool. People are asking if you're hiring. You might get a few DMs from people. Let's keep this
at Cali Life and CMG Quo on Twitter. Not me, because I never checked the app.
CMG Quo on Twitter, right? Perfect. There we go.
Yeah. That's your guy.
Right. Okay. We've kind of talked about. If you want to talk about the format of tournaments recently, we've kind of talked about that already. What about? Let's just the last one. Let's talk about some balance, and then we're going to go to viewers' questions. We've got a whole load that have come in, so we'll rattle through some viewers' questions as well. But Drew, what do you think about the balance just now? Are you happy with the balance? I'd say it's slightly better than it was, but it's still most of the esports scene are wanting a slightly lower hit rate. What's your opinion?
Well, this is where I wish I had Chase the Ace type stats with me so I could compare the type of attacks compared to their hit rate, but I don't. So I'm only going to go off the base of what I know and what I've seen in the most recent last, let's just say 6 weeks or so. The meta is heavy spam. It favors the Super Dragon type of attacks, the E-Drag attacks, and like I was saying before, not to beat a horse down or whatever, but 5-second plans for Super Dragon's ward ability, King, Queen, take out a base in a minute, 20 seconds. That just doesn't seem like it should be feasible. Yeah. However, if we were to somehow keep it in a way to where it helps the bigger vast majority of players that aren't in the competitive scene and they like it and keep it, but there needs to be some type of distinction that allows us to not necessarily ban certain troops, but keep it to a limit or somehow limit. That way wars aren't needing a 15-15 perfect tie and then the team that had the most spams win the war because of the average attack time.
Yeah. So that is you're right, that's the unfortunate result, isn't it? We saw that with Strut today where they got a 15-0, but because they potentially, and I don't know, I didn't see the attacks and all that, was at work, but they lost on time, which implies that probably the other team used more super drags. That's just the reality of it, and that's pretty rough. Yeah, it's a rough place to be. And then
there's be a bunch of people that say, "Well, you have the opportunity to do it too, so you should try it," and stuff like that. You're absolutely right. We have the opportunity to try it, and there should be something that we can implement. However, it's not super consistent, and that can make or break the war.
Yeah.
Take the minute or the 10 seconds to drop all the troops on warden ability super early and the blimp not make it there, or there's so many different styles of attacks that could fail with it. So, base identification, I guess.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Right, we're going to go to viewers' questions. So if you've got a question, guys, exclamation mark to ask questions. There will be some that we probably ignore, guys, because, as usual. Oh, amazing. Do you know what I had written down because you always takes a little bit of time to get to the viewers' questions. And there's a consistent viewers' question that always comes in. It's normally from Paul Block Malcott, who asked about favourite cheese. So I'd written that down in advance. But Tweed has already asked us, so hopefully if I press this button, it pops up in front of us. There we go. I don't know if you guys got the stream open, but what are their favourite cheeses? I mean, Tweed, you've given them multiple options. Let's just go, you got to settle on one. Now, traditionally, guys, Americans, not so hot on cheeses. But what is your favourite cheese? Drew, do you want to start us off?
Favorite cheese is provolone.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Provolone. I don't know what that is. That's I've been shamed. I've been cheese shamed. I do not know what that is. Good effort, Chaz. That's your go-to answer, by the way. If you want to also shame me, what's your favorite cheese?
So I am the cheese man. Like, there's
nice.
not a cheese that I really don't like, other than feta cheese. But my overall, I have two favorites, and it's Munster cheese and Colby Jack. Those are my go-tos with everything.
Let's go.
Munster is that.
Guys, I'm liking your cheese knowledge. This is good. You have redeemed all of your nation of America, because that is, honestly, we had some people on there were like plastic cheese. I don't know, like stuff you put on cheeseburgers. I'm like, come on, man, like. So yeah, that's brilliant.
The chat, you don't like Greek cheese. Sorry, Coco, I don't really know what Greek cheese is.
Feta.
Halloumi is the best Greek cheese.
It smells like a dirty sock. I just can't do it.
I can't do it then.
Halloumi is the best Greek cheese. I mean, you could have a whole subsection of Greek cheese.
Yeah.
But halloumi, because it's like squeaky cheese. So it's the ones you put on the barbecue. Yeah. So you can grill it on the barbecue. It's amazing. It's like meat. It's like cheese meat. But it's good. It's good. Anyway, right, that's good. Well done, guys. Right, next one. Baseball has asked Lalo or Snow Low. We're not going to worry about that. I think that was from earlier on. Okay, here we go. Totally different topic here. Time to Clash has asked. Question for Drew. If Lee Trevon was Mafia, why would you try to vote Civilian Adam off? I think this is a specific question, but I think it needs to be answered. I think you need to get him told.
I would definitely have to vote Adam off. Definitely have to vote Adam.
Why? Why would you try? He wants to know why. Is it because you hate Adam?
Adam is very good at the game, and his gameplay enough that he will have influence on other players to go with his vote. So if you can get rid of the leader, you can kind of take his servants and manipulate them the way that you want to manipulate.
Nice, I like that. Is this the Mafia Carbon Fin sort of?
That is my
side of things.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've never played this game. I've never seen it, but it happens in the middle of the night for me, and it sounds incredible. The amount of people that play.
So much fun.
Right. Okay. This is interesting. We've got from Pavu. Pavu's asked, how much success does ChasMac Gaming want for 2022? How much success? That's an interesting way of wording it. All the success? You could just put a value on it of all of it. Go for it. I think that's one for you, ChasMac. Go for it.
Well, I mean, of course, we have expectations like what Drew was saying earlier. You know, we expect to make worlds. That's our number one goal. You know, and as far as our, you know, we have 2 Brawl Star teams. We have our Clash of Clans team. We have 6 Clash Royale, you know, CRL pro players.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal for all of it for ChasMac Gaming is to make worlds, you know, to dominate the esports scene and, you know, do as much for the community as we can too. That's where we consider the most of our success is just being able to give back to the community. But as far as from a team standpoint, you know, it's just like Drew said earlier. We want to make worlds, and we know we're capable of making worlds.
Yeah.
And I believe that we will. So I hope that's the good enough answer.
Oh no, I like that. I like that you brought in 2 elements there. You brought the team, and then you sort of almost like there's like soft targets or something. It's maybe soft's the wrong word, but like the community orientated sort of stuff as well. I like that. That success can be measured in more than one way. I like that.
Absolutely.
Right, Kubik asks. Okay, I'm just asking all the trash ones as well, Drew. Is Drew at the doctor?
They will never believe me, but I am. I am either the cop or the doctor. I'm never Mafia or I'm never the serial killer. They should stop trying to vote me.
Right, do you know what? I thought he was talking about your background. I thought he was just giving you pure abuse about your white wall
Me
background.
too.
But but this is mafia related again. Okay,
Related.
got you. Right.
That's
okay. You were talking about Chase earlier on. Here's a question from Chase. What are some of the behind the scenes in the decision making process when choosing a team and adding new players? Anything in particular that you're looking for? There you go. I don't know, Drew, if you want to take it from a Clash of Clans point of view, and then Chaz maybe go wider and talk about Clash Royale and all that as well. I think there's a couple of different elements we can ask on this question.
Sure, and other teams, managers, if they're looking or listening, whether they watch the VOD, they should be subscribed to you anyways. But if they happen to listen or they want to take any type of advice, one of the big things that I like to do is keep an open line of communication and follow chain of command. I like to have everything flow. Anything Clash of Clans related, I want it to be flown through me. Like if the org, whether it's Chaz, Quo, Callie, Shady, or whomever, have questions for the guys, that if it's in a professional manner, of course it's going to go. I'd like it to go through me. And if the guys have any questions toward the org, I go through them, and we have a meeting or try to get a meeting every week. Me and Chaz talk every day. If there's a lot of wars that we have with the Clash of Clans side of things, I'll have a team meeting after all the wars are done, sit there, say, hey, we did this. How can we focus on this to be better? What can we incorporate? What can we work on? Stuff like that. That way, going into the new week, we kind of have a fresh mindset. That way, we're not dragging our feet through the mud. If we lose 2, 3, 4 wars, very winnable wars at that matter, I don't want us to sit there and feel as if we're bad or we're not good, or the negative mindset. So we reset, consistently work on what we need to work on, scrims throughout the week. If there's something that we have that we can do better, we try to really focus in on that.
And you were talking about it, so like I think people quite often focus on like the offensive side of things, but for quite a lot of these orgs, there's a big base building team behind it. Have you? Is that kind of where you're looking? Have you got base builders at the moment, or is that where you're looking at trying to identify a few more potential players to help you out?
So yes, we do have a base builder. His name's Pishin. He used to build for Space Station last year, and he's also part of RHBS base building, which is one of the bigger base builder servers in the game at the moment. But we have on the team, we have Ghost, who is a very phenomenal base builder. He's actually the head of base building for ChasMacs on the Clash of Clans side of things. So every base goes through him, gets approved with something needs to be tweaked or whatever. He does the majority of the testing with the guys that we schedule a day for all of us to test. But you also have Matt that builds, you have Max that builds, Ghost builds, and Pishin. So you have a wide variety of guys that can build. And then obviously if I need to outsource builders, I can outsource them for whatever. And then I talk to Chaz, and if we just talk about base building salary, stuff like that. So we're definitely keeping our options open to have the best bases possible.
Yeah, I think particularly with the amount of competitions, it's crazy the amount of bases that you guys end up going through. Just insane. Go on then, ChasMacs. Tell us about from a wider organization point of view, the decision making process and finding and recruiting new players.
Well, there's a lot involved from an organizational standpoint. We're fortunate enough here at CMG that we have just incredible staff. I'm trying to make up and get some brownie points for releasing the website early. But no, in all seriousness, there's this many decisions get made if it's not with a group, and that's an important part of running an organization, is having the proper people to work with that can help you with decision making. There's plenty of times that I say, hey, we should sign player X, and my staff says, why would we sign player X for Z amount of money when we can get player V for Y amount of money and they're better or just as good? Or it's about having a team. It's like what Drew said too, you outsource, you get opinions. Of course, for me, I'm a relationship kind of guy, and I wear my heart on a sleeve, and I'm friends with a lot of these guys too. And that's another thing that drives my staff nuts. I want to sign this guy. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, but what are you doing? No, if we sign all your friends, we're going to have 80 players. So staff is what it really comes down to for me. They're the ones that keep me in check when I want to help everyone and their brothers and sisters and cousins they're the ones that keep me in check and say, let's do the right thing here and focus on what's important and growing the organization the right way. So without a staff, an organization's nothing. And that's just the facts.
I like that. Fun. Okay, Chaz, we've got a question specifically for you. From Corny, it says, does Chaz dance every time Lex plays his song? His in capitals.
So yeah, I definitely do a little bit of a dance, like what Lex does. When I donate bits, he plays a certain jam that I like. In fact, though, today he played it for someone else, and it hurt my feelings. In fact, Drew, I'm going to have salary this month because of that.
Oh yeah, no,
Lex
sure.
sacked. Heard it here first. It's exclusive. Lex sacked.
Yeah. I trademarked it. I don't know what he was thinking.
What he did. I don't know what he did.
It was very hurtful.
Definitely have to bring out the whip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We've got another one for Drew. These are most of these are troll questions, by the way. I don't think there's very many serious ones in here. When is Drew officially changing his name to Uhtred, son of Uhtred?
Only on Zoom. It is too expensive for the game.
What is the reference there? What is OGD's going for there?
Give me my platform. I will explain it all. So,
go for it.
Uhtred is a main character in a show on Netflix called The Last Kingdom. Chaz, right. You need to watch it. I will harass you every day so you could watch it. Watch it with your wife. Watch it without your wife. I don't care. It's a show that you could finish in 4 days. It is a season. It's based on a true story back in the year 800, and it talks about how Wessex and the last kingdom of Wessex is around, and it's phenomenal. The storyline is very good. The story continues throughout the entire 4 seasons that it has, between 8 to 10 seasons, and there are 8 to 10 episodes per season, hour-long episodes, and season 5 starts on March 9th. And you have plenty of time, both of you, to watch it. I will check up on you both to make sure that you watch it.
And cut.
Happy days. Hey, you're getting some love in the chat. Mr. E saying season 5 starting soon. Can't wait. Yes, Bad Stag saying amazing show. New series just about to start. There you go.
More people just agreeing to what I had to say. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
To be fair, Chaz, I think we're outvoted. I think
it seems that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, here we go. We've got a good one from Bandit Builds. He's asking, who gets the most 1-stars? I don't think he means out of the two of you. I think what we're looking at here is who is in. Let's call him out. Who takes the most risks in ChasMacs? Who's your guy who's the 1 or 3-star player? So in 80 Titans for a long time it was Camille. This is the team I streamed for a lot.
Rainberry.
Yeah. I can see that.
I'll even tell you that.
With his creativity and all that.
His plans are amazing, and 99% of the time they normally work.
Yeah.
But the 1-star, and it's like it's either an overwhelming 3-star or it's a barely scraping the gutter for a 2-star.
Yeah.
Happy days.
I would agree.
You'd agree as well. Yeah, there we go. Bandit and Jesse both said Rainbury. Hades is throwing Lex's name out there. There we go. Right, Joachim has not used the command, but he's asked quite a good question there. Because actually that's one that I missed out. I forgot. It's just come back to me. Joachim Dutch Force is saying, if you could get any player he wants, who would he add to the team? Who you're like, oh, they're like one of the best players in the world. And I know we're not talking about getting rid of any of your players or anything. It's not like who would you replace, but just who's like that would improve the team if they were on the team. Who's the one player? Go for it, Drew.
So there's 2 people in my mind that would definitely.
You can get 2. I'll allow that.
You have players that are really good in the in sports. You have locker room guys. They may not play a lot, but they're great in the locker room to keep the morale up, and they boost and then they could teach someone out. They could teach other people how to do certain things. I personally, selfishly, like Riquires. He's the best Lalo player in the world. Yep. So I would love to have him on the team just to give our guys that extra step and like, hey, for Lalos, you could do this or you could do that. But if we were to go NA, he's already taken, but I'd have to go with my dog, my number 1 guy, Pevu.
Okay.
You know, he's on meta, but Lost Meta has a lucky person over there.
Okay, no, I like that. That's good. Rick is an insane player. I think he's brilliant.
I personally would add Coco, but that's just me.
There we go.
I'm Team Coco.
And Chaz, that is the reason why you have to run everything by your staff.
Coco.
Yeah, I'm Team Coco.
Coco.
Coco says that's because Drew has never seen my Lalo. Exactly.
It's the DMs, Coco.
Coco, do you even have a 14 yet?
I don't need a
she has a town of 13.
On a team whenever she wants.
Right, okay. Hades has written something in Spanish, so I'm not going to read that one out because I don't know what it says.
Excuse me.
Did you know Drew and I are best at communicating? That's not really a question. And okay, here's a good one to finish with. Clash with Boss is saying, who's better looking between you guys? Now, we're going to tweak that question slightly because
Chaz for
Chat. Okay, there we go. I like that, Drew. Go with the boss. Yeah, I like that. But let's go with these player cams. Who's the best on the player cams on at ChasMacs? Who do you like? This guy's either going to be something for the ladies, or it's going to be like this guy's going to be quality. Like there's going to be some entertainment here. Who's your best camera player?
It's a tie for me, to be honest. You have Rainberry that I'll never forget his running from one room to the other to a mirror during his Fire Fiera hit. Never forget that. You never know what he's going to come up with on definitely a video chat. However, if you want to talk about the best quality type of video chat, you have to go with Lex because he's a streamer.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Best camera, angles, best lighting, all that.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Guys, we're at the end of the questions. Oh no, we're not. Hades has thrown another one in there right at the end. Okay, Type the Clash has sent one in as well. All right, okay. That was Adam. That one's for me, and we're not going to talk about the elephants anymore. We're going to move on. Here we go. Hades is saying, best player in ChasMacs Gaming and why. If you want, you can select a strategy. If you want, you can see the best Lalo is. Go for that, Drew. Who's your best player?
I don't think there's one better. I think everyone's good at what they're doing. Like you could sit there and argue that Max is the best Skelly Donut Lalo player on the team, maybe because he's the only one that can do it. You have people that like best Super Witch player, that would be Nick. So I'm gonna keep it as not vague, but if you want to talk about guys on the team that are able to do certain strats, I think Nick is the best Super Witch log launcher player on the team because he knows how to dissect the base, and the base identification that he has is so it's best class that you could have. You have Max, who I believe is world class. When he's on point, when he's on fire, he's unstoppable. But then you have players like Rainberry, like Lex, Matt. Matt is one of the best pushers in the game, who has the opportunity to push with a lot of different items. He loves Blizz Lalo, so that's good to have on the team. Yeah. You have got also very good when Nick can't play or when other people can't play. He always opts into all the wars. He's also very good at Skelly Donut Lalo. He also played at Worlds 2 years ago with INTZ. You can't forget about those guys. But everyone's really good at what they can do, and if they just keep focusing on what they're good at rather than what they're not good at, we'll be unstoppable.
Happy days. I like that. Okay, final question from Phil. Here we go. This is a good question. Chaz, this one's for you. And it is, where is Chazzy's hat?
Does that happen to be Phil_7?
It is Phil_7, correct. Is he now getting sacked, is he?
He's like my one of my mods from my Twitch channel, and also a very good friend who last night during our charity stream pointed out that I like the Clark Kent thing with Superman. When I took off my headphones and my hat, I looked like a different person. I'm at work today, wearing my work clothes, and I don't typically wear a hat to work. So thanks for pointing that out, Uncle Phil. He tells some incredible dad jokes too. Maybe he can cue one up and you can read it.
Oh yeah.
But big shout out to Phil.
Big fan
I'm
of
sorry,
and dad jokes.
A lot of glare from the bald head today.
Me too. For that reason, So
yeah. So I had a wee look at the website before we came on air, and you know, I saw the merch section in there. So you know, maybe we're gonna have some ChasMacs hats on sale for people if people want to get them. Yeah, I actually don't know if there's hats there, but hopefully there is. There we go. Drew puts the link in. Perfect.
Store is the one that's on there right now, still being updated, and there'll be a lot of stuff added to it over the next couple of weeks. But we needed to get the website up and live for our players and sponsors and things like that. So it's there. I hope you guys like it. It was a lot of work. You know, our entire staff put in just a ton of time into creating it, and I still want to talk about more cheeses. I mean,
cheese.
Yeah,
it's good.
Mini
right,
baby
there's
doll.
cheese for any occasion. That's why cheese board is a thing. That's why cheese boards exist.
Yeah.
One. Yeah.
You enjoy them.
If I could too, just follow up on what Drew was just saying about, you know, one of the questions before Uncle Phil wanted to pick on me about my hat.
Yeah.
Just talking about our players, you know, and like I agree with what Drew's saying. It's kind of like saying who's the best football player ever. Well, I mean, Tom Brady's the best quarterback of all time. I might have made someone mad. I'm sorry. But, you know, it's hard to say what player is the best because of those different styles, like what Drew was saying, you know.
Yeah.
Me personally, I absolutely love watching Ghost battle. I just, for whatever reason, I feel like his battles are just a little more intense to me. Whereas when I watch Lexnos, it's like, okay, he's either going to get a 99% or he's going to get a 3-star. That's just Lex. It's just what he's going to do. So, you know, and I know people like to pick on him a little bit about the 99%. So I'm sorry, Lexi. I'll make it up to you by holding that up.
There we go. You know, the YouTube video, I'm going to zoom in on that. It's going to take up the whole screen.
Yeah, for sure. But
also OP graphics, Chaz, man.
I needed to address that and just let you know, that all of our players are just they're all incredible in their own ways. But Ghost is my favorite to watch.
Ghost, he has a lot of variety, so you really don't know what he's going to come up with.
Exactly. Yep. I love it.
Come up with.
Happy days, brilliant. There was something just. Oh, here we go. I knew there was something I had to scroll back up. I couldn't remember what it was. It is the dad joke as requested. What kind of bears have no teeth? And the answer is gummy bears. So there we go. And to be honest, all in the delivery, I nailed the delivery there. So
you did. All credit to you. None to Phil.
Oh wait, now Phil's got a cheese-related dad joke. Even better. Where this is just become best dream ever. Why didn't the cheese want to get sliced? It had greater plans.
Oh, that is good. That is good.
Well
I give him props.
Phil, you can come again. Game Face, thanks for following, man. Yeah, that's awesome. We're kind of out of questions, guys. I've kept you for ages and ages. We're on about an hour and a half. Thank you so much for hanging out. Is there any other information you want to give us about anything? Is ChasMac Cup going to be invitational? Someone asked that in chat. Is it going to be invite only? Are you going to tell us that, or is it all secret?
What I can tell you, and Chaz, you can kick my ass later.
Love it, sure.
I can't tell you the amount of teams that are going to be playing in it. There are invited teams, but there will be spots for open qualifiers. So everyone's looking out to it. Like I said, there's a lot of hands involved in this that is going to make this really, really special for a lot of teams.
Brilliant. I love it. That's brilliant. Oh, okay. So I'm going to continue streaming. We're going to do some Legend League stuff. So I'm going to hang up on you guys really in a second. But thank you so much for being on. And final joke here from Pinball U. This is someone contesting Phil for the crown. He says, "What do you call a cow with no legs?" I'm going to take a stab at this one, and Drew's probably reading chat, so I'll just go straight to it.
I didn't see that.
What do you call a cow with no legs? And the answer is ground beef. Love it.
Oh, a cow.
Brilliant. A cow. Sorry, that's my accent. Ruined everything.
Yeah. Maybe in Scottish, you think I would have picked up on that.
I didn't. I couldn't find the joke. I knew he said, I don't know, cow no legs, but ground beef.
That is a classic, though. That is definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So communication has let us down there, and I'm taking that. It's all my fault. I'm taking that on myself. I could try it again in an American accent, but that probably just going to sound really offensive.
I would trade you accents in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
It's just my only challenge is people can't understand me. It's great fun. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I would never know how to end these. It's like an awkward sort of like.
Mac, we just want to say that we appreciate the opportunity that you've given us to talk and hang out and get everyone to know how great of a guy Chaz really is, and hopefully a lot of people have seen that, use code LEGOS, and we're all very honored and humbled by the opportunity to allow us to be presented on this platform that you gave us today.
Yeah, absolutely. We really appreciate you having us on, and to everyone that's watching that maybe didn't know who we were and why we were here, now you guys know. And we're really looking forward to just helping the community continue to grow and continue to grow esports with guys like Mac and everyone else that we can work with. So thank you so much for having us. It was a great time.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, that's so kind. I'm still, as far as I'm concerned, like you guys are the bigger fish here. Okay, I was really excited that I got ChasMac on, and when I managed to, mate. I love you've got animated graphics now. I love it, mate. The no expense spared on this use code Lex graphic going on here.
Listen, I said that Ghost is my favorite player to watch, so I have to keep this on. I probably have to pin this to my shirt for the rest of the day because I will hear about that later.
It was when it came in sideways. That was brilliant. Perfect. Honestly, it's been so good. Maybe in a few months' time, once you've got some more plans together, you want to come on and tell us about ChasMac Cup in more detail, that'd be incredible. Would be absolutely awesome. But yeah, guys, I am going to continue streaming because I'm rude like that, and I'm just going to hang up on you. So thanks so much. For YouTube, do you want to just wave bye to the camera?
Bye, guys, and don't forget.
Use code Lexnos.